All right, so this is unit rates and conversions, which we started yesterday. What I would like you to be doing is I would like you to be pausing, going along with, pausing, trying to answer the question, then playing the answer to the questions. Okay? And so, just as a review yesterday, the first lesson deals with many ways to measure using ratio reasoning to convert units. And so, we have right here the warm up, and it starts on 165, so that's where you're at your book. Answer each question about a common measurement conversion. How many inches are in 1 foot? 12 inches, and that's a customary unit of measure. How many feet are in 1 yard? 3 feet, and that's a customary unit of measure. How many grams are in 1 kilogram? And that's 1,000 grams, and that's a metric unit of conversion or metric unit. How many milliliters are in 1 liter? That's 1,000 milliliters, and that is metric. How many centimeters are in 1 meter? 100 centimeters, and that is metric. How many fluid ounces are in 1 cup? There's 8 fluid ounces in a cup, and that's customary. How many quarts are in 1 gallon? There are 4 quarts in a gallon, and that is also customary. The number 8 just said to identify which ones are customary units of measure, which is what the US normally uses, and then what is metric, which is what the rest of the world uses. Okay. Learning goals. Use ratio reasoning with double number lines to convert measurement units. Use ratio reasoning with ratio tables to convert measurement units. Use scaling up or scaling down to convert and transform measurement units appropriately. Use unit analysis to convert and transform measurement units appropriately. The key word here is convert. And then in previous systems, we learned about ratios in 2 topics ago. And then last topic, we were learning about percents, which is a specific type of ratio. And then converting units also deals with ratios. Okay. And so we did this yesterday, but just wanted to get started with that. Then customary to whom? So in the US, customary units are primarily used for business, personal, and social purposes. Sciences, including the medical field, use the metric system. Customary to whom? You've learned about the relationships between inches and feet and yards, quarts and gallons, meters and millimeters, to name a few. Name a U.S. customary system unit and a metric system unit that would be an appropriate size to measure each object or quantity. And so you didn't have to guess the actual size, you just had to use the right unit. And so your height, feet for customary, and then meters for the metric system. Length of your pencil, inches and centimeters. Distance from your school to the beach, miles and kilometers. Weight of your math book, pounds or ounces, and then kilograms or grams. Amount of water in a bottle, fluid ounces in customary, and liters in metric. Amount of water in a swimming pool, gallons or kiloliters. Circle the most appropriate measurement for each item. The weight of a dog, the best one there would be 15 pounds. B, the amount of gas in a car's tank. The best estimate would be 55 liters. C, the height of your classroom. The best estimate would be 12 feet. D, the height of a basketball hoop would be 3 meters. Okay, and so we did those 2 yesterday, and you just wanted to review those, and if you weren't here, making sure you're writing in what we did happen to do. And so now we need to move on to 1.1. And so reasoning about unit conversions. You can use more than one measurement to describe the same length, weight, or capacity. For example, you may say that a football field is 100 yards long or 300 feet long. You could also say that the football field is about 90 meters long. In each case, the lengths are the same, you just say them in different ways. There are many situations in which you need to convert measurements to different units. To convert a measurement means to change it to an equivalent measurement in different units. Name a situation in which converting one measurement to another would be necessary, or useful. So you should pause, talk with your partner, and jot something down right there. Okay? So when you convert a measurement to a different unit, the size of the object does not change, only the units and the number of those units change. The thing that was popping into my head, name a situation in which converting one measurement to another would be necessary or useful. I was kind of thinking of making change. And so with money, kind of making sure that I exchange one type of money for another. And so, like, let's say I needed to convert my $20 bills into tens and fives and ones. And so that's what I was thinking of. But there's a whole bunch of different answers here that would be correct or right or fine. Before you start converting units, it is useful to estimate the number of units to expect in a conversion. A few estimates comparing common metric and U.S. customary measures are given. 1 meter is about the same length as 1 yard. 1 inch is about 2.5 centimeters. 1 kilometer is a little more than half of a mile. 1 foot is about 30 centimeters. 1 liter is about the same as 1 quart. 1 kilogram is a little more than 2 pounds. Okay? And so we want to start knowing those, and just like we know that 12 inches are in a foot, and we should know that 3 feet are in a yard. And so these are some of the ones that we want to kind of start paying attention to and start just kind of knowing. Okay? Moving on to the next page. Whoa. All right. So use the estimates given and your knowledge of metric and U.S. customary measures to answer each question. The numeric value of which measurement will be greater. Okay. So the length of a table in inches or in feet. And you want to pause this, write this down, and then play this. And so the length of the table in inches or in feet. The numeric value is the number. All right. And so inches, there'd be a whole bunch of inches for a smaller amount of feet. The length of a table in meters or in centimeters, again, the number of centimeters would be way greater than the number of meters when measuring a table. C, the length of a table in meters or in yards. This is a trickier one. Yards, the number would be greater. A meter is just a little bit longer than a yard. And so therefore, there would be more yards compared to meters if you were measuring that same table. D, the distance from school to your house in miles or kilometers. All right. And kilometers would be the right answer. If I was paying attention to the bottom of the last page, they said that there's about 2 kilometers in a mile. Okay. E, the weight of your math book in kilograms or in pounds. And for that one, pounds is a little smaller than kilograms or smaller than kilograms. And so pounds would be the bigger number if we were measuring them both. How did you decide which value would be greater in question 2? It will take more of the smaller unit. So I tried to pick the smaller unit each time. Inches are smaller than feet. Centimeters are smaller than meters. Yards are smaller than meters. Kilometers are smaller than miles. Pounds are smaller than kilograms. Okay. And then this lady over here, although the numeric values of these measurements may be different, the size of each object is the same no matter how it is measured. Okay, so it's the same table for all of these. It's the same distance from school to your house. It's the same math book. It's just what unit we're measuring in makes it different. Estimate each measurement conversion. The distance to Toronto is 548 kilometers. About how many miles is that? And so I would go and I'd look on the other page and I would try to figure that out. So I'd go on the previous page and pause it and try to put in my estimate. And when you're ready, about 274 miles. So there's 2 kilometers in a mile, and so if I cut that in half, I should get what the amount of miles is. You order 5 kilograms of food pellets for your guinea pig. About how many pounds are you ordering? Pause it, take a look on the previous page, that list, and then it would be about 10 pounds. Describe the strategies you use to estimate each measurement conversion in question 4. In measurement conversion in question 4. I used the estimates provided and then reasoned about which would be larger to determine if I should multiply or divide by 2. Okay, so here I multiplied by 2 because a pound is smaller than a pound would be bigger than a kilogram. No, pounds are smaller. A pound is smaller. And then I divided here because a mile is bigger. There we go. Wait a sec. So I divided when it was bigger. And then multiplied when I was going to a smaller one. Okay. All right. Make sure you get that. And then you're moving on to the next page. Because most conversions compare 2 quantities using multiplicative strategies, the conversion estimates provided and the conversions within systems that you already know can be written using ratio language. They can also be written symbolically in terms of equality. Ratio language. For every inch, there are approximately 2.5 centimeters. Symbolically, 1 inch is about 2.5 centimeters. So the symbol, that little curvy symbol right there, where both lines are not straight, they're curvy, means that the two values are approximately equal, so not quite. For every meter, there is approximately 1 yard. 1 meter is about 1 yard. For every foot, there are approximately 30 centimeters. 1 foot is about 30 centimeters. For every 12 inches, there is exactly 1 foot. 12 inches is about 1 foot. For every kilometer, there are exactly 1,000 meters. 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters. Oh, and this one was 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. So these are exact, and these are estimates. They're a little bit off. When a conversion ratio is presented for use in converting between units of measure, It is often written as an equation. 12 inches equals 1 foot. However, it can also be written as a ratio in fractional form. 12 inches to 1 foot. Because conversions compare two quantities that are measured in different units, conversion ratios can also be called conversion rates. Rewrite each common conversion using ratio language and as a ratio in fractional form. So, for every 3 feet, there is 1 yard. And then that's ratio language. And then in fractional form would be 3 feet to 1 yard. So you should do both of those things for all of these. And you should pause this and do it now and then watch. So you should be doing that. And I'm going to continue. For every 5,280 feet, there is 1 mile. And so 5,280 feet to 1 mile. For every pound, Pound, there is about 0.45 kilograms. 1 lb to 0.45 kg. For every 4 quarts, there is 1 gallon. So 4 quarts to 1 gallon in fractional form. For every meter, there is 100 centimeters. 1 meter to 100 centimeters. Last one's a tricky one. For every 1/1000th of a meter, there is 1 millimeter. And then as a fraction, it would look like this. 1/1000th of a meter over 1 millimeter. And that is called a crazy complex fraction. Okay. Because these measurement conversions are ratios, you can use ratio reasoning to convert between units. For example, you can determine the number of miles in a 10-kilometer race or the number of fluid ounces in 500 milliliters of a solution. Okay? So we can do this to get from one unit to another or convert. Activity 1.2, using double number lines. And we'll stop here. And if you've gotten to this point, congratulations. Now what I need you to do is you're going to go on to extra math and con for the rest of your time. You want to focus on finding conversions and units of measurement.